नमस्ते बिटिया। हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया। I am Dr. Bharat Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Pathology, Faculty of Homeopathic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. Today's topic is tumors of lungs. A number of benign and malignant tumors occur in the lungs, but the primary lung cancer, commonly termed bronchogenic carcinoma, is the most common. It covers almost 95% of all primary lung tumors. The lung is also the commonest site for metastasis from carcinomas and sarcomas. A histologic classification of various benign and malignant tumors of lungs is given below. First is epithelial tumors. In case of benign tumor, examples are papilloma and adenomas. B is dysplasia and carcinomas in situ and malignant tumor of epithelials. Examples are first is bronchogenic carcinoma, which are squamous cell carcinoma or small cell carcinoma, which can be pure or combined with any other non-small cell carcinoma of lung. Third is adenocarcinomas. They are acinar predominant adenocarcinomas, papillary predominant adenocarcinomas, lipidic predominant formerly bronchiolo-alveolar carcinomas, solid predominant with mucin formation adenocarcinomas, or micropapillary predominant adenocarcinomas. Now, fourth is large cell carcinomas. Fifth is adenosquamous carcinomas. Other carcinomas are pulmonary neuroendocrine tumors or carcinoid tumors. Second is bronchial gland carcinoma, that is adenoid cystic carcinoma or mucoepidermoid carcinomas. Now, second is soft tissue tumors. Examples are fibromas, fibrosarcomas, leiomyomas, leiomyosarcomas, lipoma, chondroma, hemangioma, lymphangioma, and granular cell myoblastoma. Now, third is pleural tumors. First is benign mesothelioma, and second is malignant mesothelioma. Now, fourth is miscellaneous tumors. These are carcinosarcomas, pulmonary blastomas, malignant melanomas, malignant lymphomas, and fifth is secondary tumors. There are five main histologic type of lung cancer. These five types are squamous cell or epidermoid carcinoma, small cell carcinoma, adenocarcinomas, large cell carcinomas, combined squamous cell carcinoma, and adenocarcinoma or adenosquamous carcinomas. Etiology of tumors of lungs. The high incidence of Lung cancer is associated with a number of etiological factors, notably cigarette smoking. First, smoking. The most important factor for high incidence of all form of bronchogenic carcinoma is tobacco smoking. About 80% of the lung cancer occurs in active smokers. A number of evidence support the positive relationship of lung cancer with tobacco smoking. An average active smoker has 13 times higher risk while a passive smoker has 1.5 times risk of lung cancer than a non-smoker. The risk of smoker of more than 2 packs 40 cigarettes per day for 20 years is 60 to 70 times greater than a non-smoker. Second is other factors. Although smoking is the dominant etiological factor in lung cancer, but 15% cases of lung cancer occur in non-smokers, more so in women, probably related to hormonal factors. A few other factors implicated in lung cancer are as follows. First is radiation exposure. Second is atmospheric pollution. Third is occupational causes. Fourth is dietary factors. And fifth is chronic scarring. Here you can see the normal bronchial mucosa. In basal cell hyperplasia and squamous metaplasia and dysplasia. And finally, carcinoma in situ with microcirculation. Molecular pathogenesis. Molecular studies have revealed that there are several genetic alterations in cancer stem cells which produce clones of malignant cells to form tumor masses. Following genetic changes have been found. First is activation of growth promoting oncogenes. Second is inactivation of tumor suppressor genes. Autocrine growth factors. Inherited predisposition. Molecular targets for therapy and survival predictions. Now, morphological features. Two cross patterns are distinguished. First is Hilar type. Most commonly, the lung cancer arises in the main bronchus or one of its segmental branches in the hilar part of the lung, more often on the right side. The tumor begins as a small roughened area on the bronchial mucosa at the bifurcation. As the tumor enlarges, it thickens the bronchial mucosa, producing nodular or ulcerated surface. As the nodules coalesce, the carcinoma grows into a friable spherical mass 1 to 5 centimeter in diameter, narrowing and occulting the lumen. The cut surface of the tumor is yellowish white with foci of necrosis and hemorrhages, which may produce cavitary lesions. Second is peripheral type. A small proportion of lung cancer, chiefly adenocarcinomas, including bronchoalveolar carcinomas, originate from a small peripheral bronchioles, but the exact site of the origin may not be discernible. Now there are comparison of features of small cell and non-small cell carcinoma of the lung. Features are etiological relationship, morphological patterns, nucleoli, cytoplasmic pattern, and endoplasmic dense core granule. Neuroendocrine markers are present in small cell carcinoma, absent in non-cell carcinoma. Epithelial markers are also present in small cell carcinoma and not present in also present in non-small cell carcinomas. Mucin is absent in small cell carcinoma while present in adenocarcinomas. Prognosis is poor in case of small cell carcinoma and better in non-small cell carcinoma. Spread. Bronchogenic carcinoma can invade the adjoining structure directly or may spread by lymphatic and hematogenous routes. First is direct spread. The tumor extends directly by invading through the wall of the bronchus and destroy and replaces the peribronchial lung tissue. As it grows further, it is spread to the opposite bronchus and lungs into the pleural cavity, the pericardium, and the myocardium, and along the great vessel of the heart, causing their constriction. Second is lymphatic spread. Initially, hilar lymph nodes are affected. Later, lymphatic metastasis occurred to the other group, leading to spread to mediastinal, cervical, supraclavicular, and para-aortic lymph nodes. Third is hematogenous spread. Distant metastases via bloodstream are widespread and early. The site affected is descending order of involvement are the liver, adrenals, bones, pancreas, brains, opposite lung, kidney, and thyroid. Clinical features. Symptoms of lung cancers are quite variable and result from local effect due to occlusion of a bronchus, direct and distant metastasis, and paraneoplastic syndromes. Diagnostic aids include radiologic examination and CT scan of the chest, cytologic examination of the sputum, bronchial washing, and bronchoalveolar lavage. Staging and prognosis. The widely accepted clinical staging of lung cancer is according to the TNM classification, combining features of primary tumors, nodal involvement, and distant metastasis. TNM staging divides all lung cancer into the following four types: occult, malignant cell in the bronchopulmonary secretion, but no evidence of primary tumor or metastasis. Stage first is tumor less than 3 cm with or without is ipsilateral nodal involvement, no distant metastasis. Stage 2 is tumor larger than 3 cm with ipsilateral hilar lymph node involvement but no distant metastasis. Stage 3 is tumor of any size involving adjacent structures, involving contralateral lymph nodes or distant metastasis. In general, tumor size larger than 5 cm has worse prognosis. Symptomatic patients, particularly with systematic symptoms, fare far badly than the non-symptomatic patients. The overall prognosis of bronchogenic carcinoma is dismal. Small cell carcinoma has the worst prognosis since surgical treatment is ineffective, though thought the tumor is sensitive to radiotherapy and chemotherapy. This session is powered by Digital Version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope you all enjoy this session. If you have any query, please mention it in comment box. Thank you.